Good day. In another segment, I was showing how to, the template, how to structure a company functionally, and it had lots of vice presidents, whatever, or directors. And a small company cannot afford that. Come to think of it, if I look at a small company, you might have a salesperson, sure. But who really, it might be even called the vice president for sales and marketing, but it's irrelevant. Why? Because who does really the marketing decisions, which means which markets to go for, which new products to have, how to price it, how to promote it, what channels to use. Who makes those decisions really? The founder, the leader. Then you might have a production manager or operations manager, true. But who makes the engineering decisions? What machinery to use, where to locate the plants, when to subcontract, when to outsource. This guy. There is even a finance manager or vice president here, but if you really look at what this person is doing, it's not finance. He's doing accounting, maybe doing some financial reporting. But who does the real financial decisions, whether to take loans or not to take loans and how much equity? Who makes those decisions? This guy. Then in a small company, they don't have human resources development. No time for that. They have somebody, maybe a secretary, taking care of personnel, or called human resources administration, maybe called human resources development, but really is a personnel function, handling of the people. What's happening? If you put the PAEI code, what are you going to find out? P. PA really. PA. A. A. And what's happening here? E. 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 That's the problem of a small company. That's the problem of a go-go company. The entrepreneurial function is monopolized usually by the founder, by the leader of the company. And what's the danger? When this guy leaves or dies, what happens? The company dies. The entrepreneurial spirit is gone. The driving force is gone. It's really a heart attack. The heart stops beating. Now what do we do? How do we get out of this trap? Which is a founder's trap. How do we do that? Here is how you do that. Give you several suggestions, please, for a small company. You cannot afford a vice president for marketing and vice president of finance and vice president of engineering. What should you do? How do you get out of the founder's trap? Open your calendar. And I want you now to pick up a day in the month. And it has to be the same day in the month the whole year. Unless it's a legal holiday, in which case it should be the next day after that. Let's assume it's the first Monday of the month, last Friday of the month. I don't care. Pick up a day in the month. Next. Cross out anything after 1 o'clock. All the way from 1 to 8 o'clock at night. Just cross it out. Doesn't exist. It was just nationalized. It was just taken over. You were robbed of that afternoon. What do you do 1 day a month after lunch? Okay, do it after 2 o'clock. The point is really not the time as much as you must give it at least 3 hours, no more than 6 hours. That's too much, 6 hours. 3, 4 hours, okay. But it has to be including dinner, when you don't go out to dinner to a restaurant. You bring the ingredients and you will make the dinner together. So let's assume it will be from 4 to 8, 4 to 9, something like that, if you want to do only 3 hours. Now what do? Pick up a place outside of the company. I suggest not in somebody's home because there are too much interruptions with children, spouses, etc. It could be a motel room or a hotel place. Just away, okay? Away, away, away. I would even say it further away so it is difficult to come from the office there. So you're really, relatively speaking, isolated. Now, next thing you do is, that's going to be called your strategic forum. Call it a name, strategic forum. Don't call it an executive committee. Executive committee meets every, let's say, Monday, 9 to 12 in the morning, and there it meets in the office, at the company premises. There is an agenda, and the purpose of executive committee is to follow up on decisions. There is agenda, there is follow-up, there are decisions being taken, given to people for implementation, and it's run by the chairman of the executive committee, period. It's a typical meeting, okay? This is different, the strategic forum. I don't want you to have an agenda. Because the moment you have agenda to make decisions, what's going to happen? It's going to convert itself into an executive committee. And now you're making decisions of day-to-day operational nature, and you're missing to pay attention to the big picture. The E. You'll be back into the P and the A mode. Forbidden to have decisions in the strategic forum. You should not decide anything, please. The moment you put an agenda for decisions to be taken, you're back into the executive committee mode. In the strategic forum, you are discussing subjects that are going to be decided in the executive committee. So you have time to sleep on it. You know what is it analogous to? To dreaming. If you don't dream, a psychotherapist will tell you you have a problem, you need to dream. You don't need to remember all your dreams, but you need to dream because a dream performs a function. It removes your fears of the past and gives you the possibilities of the future. You need that mind to act. An organization needs to dream. Why? But look at it. When was it established? By a founder who was dreaming. He had a dream. You know when the company starts dying? When they're not dreaming anymore. It's becoming one long nightmare. So what do we need? We need one afternoon a month throughout the year, scheduled in advance, what day of the month it is, and it's taken off the calendar. People cannot travel during the time. Everybody has to be there, period. Now, if they cannot be there because there was an emergency and a client and God knows what, they have to send somebody to represent them in the meeting. So the number of people in the room is always the same. And who are they? All the movers and shakers of the company. That's who are. Could be the next level below the president and some key people below that. If somebody cannot come, he has to send somebody else from the same department to represent them. Because we need the same knowledge in the room. We need the same contribution in the room. And the same number of people. Once it starts to diminish, the number diminishes, people feel like, why am I here? I should be doing something else. And by not having decisions to take, we can discuss things. We are much more relaxed. There is no pressure. It's a safe environment. No decisions are being taken. We just talk. You know where I learned this? I had a client many, many years ago. And I also scheduled my interventions, my sessions with the client in advance, a year in advance. So I opened my calendar and I was saying, all right, how about March 15th, April 15th? He says, oh, I cannot do it on March 15th. I'm on my honeymoon. I say, honeymoon? What do you mean honeymoon? I just had dinner with his wife the night before. I mean, I know this is California, but this was a little bit too much. You know, last night he was married. Over the night he got divorced and remarried again. Now he's having a honeymoon. I mean, how did that happen? And he thought that I was kind of surprised. So he said to me, no, you don't understand, Dr. Adizes. On the anniversary of my honeymoon, every year I have a honeymoon with my wife. Ooh. And then he said, one honeymoon is not enough for a lifetime of marriage. How smart can this person be? Same thing with the company. One dream one courtship is not sufficient for a lifetime of a company. We need to record, we have to refurbish the dream. We have to redream it every time. That's what gives you food, not only for thought, for decision making in the executive committee. That will be the raw material, the background based on which decisions will be made at the executive committee. That's the time when we get together. And people that part bread together don't fight as much. So bring the raw material, and one prepares a salad, the other one makes the tuna, and this one cuts the bread, and this cuts the cheese, and you know what? We are eating together. Don't go to a restaurant. So you have a meeting for 3 hours, then 1 hour we prepare the meal, then we eat together, then we continue the meeting, and then we go home. That's what you want. You want to I, not only to E. And no pressure to make decisions, forbidden to make decisions, so we can talk. Talk about what? The first month it should be about marketing. Now realize what happened. What I cannot get in time and place, I get in the process. So now I have a marketing forum meeting. And that first month, what are we going to discuss? Where are we going? What's happening in the market? What do you think we should do? What is the competition doing? What changes should we make? We just talk. We just talk. And you can invite, if you want, some visitors, some guests who can contribute some knowledge. Good. And it's very relaxed. And why is it a relaxed environment? Because no decisions are being taken. Because no decisions are being taken, there is no fighting. We're just talking. And that's what you want. Because pay attention, in order to fall asleep and to dream, you must be relaxed. That's why when you go into a deep sleep to be dreaming, you must be relaxed. If somebody is poking at you and waking you up all the time, you cannot dream. Same thing here, create a safe environment. Everybody has to be there or the representative, plus guests, and we open the subject. This month it is, where are we going? What's the competition doing? What do you think we should do? And we just talk, like a courtship, we are back in love. And the founder should participate as much, if not more, than anybody else, the leader. Why? What is he actually doing? He's transferring his dreams down, institutionalizing in the people. So if he dies, the dream is still there. They share the dream, they understand the dream. It's part of their dream now. What do you do the next month? Technology, engineering. Do we have the right plans? Do we have the right machines? Do we have the right locations? Where should we be? How should we produce? Again, you can bring guests if you need to. Consultants if you need to. The next month, do we have enough money? Where do we get the money? The next month, do we have the right people? How do we get the people? What do you do the 5th month? Start again. For how long? Forever. Always there will be something to talk about. Always something to share information about. You are creating an open environment within which discussion of change is not threatening. It is safe to talk about. You share information, you share dreams, based on which discussion you're going to make the decisions in the executive committee eventually. And now what do you have? Flexibility with controllability. You must have both to have a very successful company. Thank you very much, and I hope you implement this. See you next time.